if you have a good relationship with your LGS, especially if you find a good one, I think it's very important thing as well. Not every LGS is a very good LGS. If your LGS is overcharging everybody, then maybe don't waste your time befriending them. I should have said this from the beginning, huh? Hello everyone, it's Path. So today we are going to talk about a very important topic to me, especially I think in the last few months. I think this has become more and more important, and I thought it is a good time to share with everybody. And that is really about LGS relationship. And if you're not familiar, LGS means local game store or local card store, some may say. And I'm going to quickly just show you what exactly you learn from this video, and hopefully it gives you a little bit of value listening to me. So what I'm going to cover today are problems with getting product in the recent few months, and why relationship matters with the LGS and how to build relationship with them. I think this is quite important because there are many people who actually ask me about, how I got my products and things like that. So I think I might as well just make a video and share this with everybody. And what are the other benefits you can get out of this. And of course, I always show you just a snippet of real life examples of the benefits or what I have gotten out of this relationship. So without further ado, let's go. So the first one is really about problems with getting product. It is, as you know, really difficult recently, and everything is really pricey because of the scarcity in getting product everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are, in the US, in Singapore, or even in the Europe. It's really difficult because of the scarcity. Now sellers charge a high premium. It doesn't matter whether they are online seller or LGSs. Even LGSs, most of them, if they are very familiar with the market price, some of them they will charge close to market and even above MSRP sometimes. And if you're lucky enough to be in the US, then maybe you can have access to MSRP priced product for many of the item. And for some of the item, like for example the recent 151 booster bundles or the prismatic evolution, maybe you can get them at pretty good price. I mean, for those really popular product, even MSRP is a good price. But at the same time, you have to compete with bots and scalpers who are queuing overnight outside the shops. And for people who are not in the US, we do not even have this chance at all. So next we are going to talk about why it is important for me to build a relationship with LGS and what I have learned. I think the benefits, some of it is really early access to products, because if you are familiar with them, you build enough trust with them, and then with you, they are open to share with you, when the products are coming in, when they're getting it from the distributor. In Singapore, it's max off. And also it is possible if you have built out enough rapport with them to even get some deals below market on release day. I'm going to show you an example later on, and also quite a bit of insider info. You get to know what are some things that's going on, whether it's about the shop, whether it's about the distributor, about some other backdoor stuff. It's quite interesting. I mean, if you're in the hobby, I think this is something I'm interested to know, especially as a content creator. Of course, I do not share things that may harm them or, harm Maxoff. I don't think there's a point of doing that. But if I have some very interesting thing and I think it is not very openly known, and if it is not a secret, then I would share them. And of course, the more a practical thing is also sometimes I have very nice promos from them. I'm going to show you some example, like for example the Journey Together promo. This is the Snorlax promo, and I think it is still selling at a pretty good price in the open market. And I actually got a few copy of this. So this just one fine day, he asked me, hey, have you gotten this Snorlax promo yet? He have a whole box of them still remaining, so he just passed me a few copy. Really nice. And the more recent ones are this one, the Zapdos Destined Rival, same thing. But of course, these are the Asia exclusive promos. So if they are a game store or official store, they should be giving this to you if you're buying product with them. And now let's go to the meat and potato of this topic, how to build relationship. I think it's really important to talk about this, because especially in the current generation, I would say, or in the digital world, we are talking less and less face to face. And many people prefer to just buy things online. They find it easier, just with a few clicks of the button you can find where I can get some cheap price. But the problem is at the moment anything online is probably at the market price, so it's really difficult to do that. So how I actually build relationship is really just being a regular shopper with them. I visit the shop almost every week. So even if I'm not buying anything, I will probably buy a drink or something, or maybe some sleeves, penny sleeves, top loaders, things that I would need anyway, and some packs as well. I actually got some Evolving Skies loose pack from them. Because they open up some old products. I think they're probably tins or collection boxes, and I saw them. Of course, it's not very cheap. Right now the price is not exactly cheap, but I think he's still selling probably close to market or slightly below, and it gave me a little bit of discount, so I'll just just buy them to support them. And also join the tournaments if you can, if you're available, and join events and maybe help out if you are able to. And also I think the most important thing is the last point. I cannot emphasize this enough. I'm always polite with them, and I'm friendly with them, and I'm really thankful whenever he managed to reserve some products for me and give me a good price. And also do not be pushy. So sometimes people start to get entitled. They were saying things like, oh, I pre-ordered 10 cases, why do I only have one box? If you get 10%, then I should get a case out of 10 cases that I pre-ordered, things like that. So I think this is something that any shop will not like. And in fact, because they have limited products anyway, so they can pick and choose who they want to sell it to. I mean, so if what if you order or you pre-order 5 cases, 10 cases? There are many people who can do that. There are many people who have deep pockets. So as a shop, the LGS owner, they will definitely prefer to deal with people who doesn't fuss about all this thing. In fact, I have never actually bargained with the shop before, because I know the price that they give me was already very good. It's already under market price, and most of the time it's even under MSRP. So I have really nothing much to complain about in terms of the price. So I'll just thank him and smile at him and say, okay, let's hope we get more allocation next time, which is my honest opinion. Because at this climate, if you can get anything below MSRP, I think it's already a blessing. Even if it's just a box, even if it's just one ETB. I'm going to show you some example later on, so you know what I'm talking about. But remember, be thankful and be polite, and please be regular. Don't jump around different shops. If you're going to buy regularly a few boxes here and there, you might as well just support the same shop. It is also important to know that at this market, nobody have access to very cheap product at a big volume. So it is something that we will have to deal with, whether you're a collector or an investor. So we have to manage our expectation as well. Other benefits is, like I said, better price means as an investor, better return, especially if you're looking in the long term. So entry price is very important. And I have early access, so I'm usually, if I'm going to sell, if I'm going to flip some of them, I am usually probably one of the first one. Basically anybody who have access to LGS will have this benefit, and so of course I'm not the only one. I will be one of the first few ones if I decide to sell any of the things that I have. And relationship like this, because I visit them really every single week, sometimes multiple times a week if I'm free, just go down and chit chat. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention was also sometimes I just go down to the shop when there's nothing to buy, just get a drink, maybe share a drink, buy a drink for the shop owner, just have a chit chat, talk about the hobby. That's also part of the hobby, part of the community. It's fun. And yeah, a good relationship means long-term supply stability. As long as the shop still continue to sell product, they continue to bring in product, I will continue to buy from them, and I won't be worried whether they will not reserve anything for me. I think I shared in an earlier video, I got one box of this as well as a binder collection. But if you see at the back, this is actually my actual cases. I have gotten a case of, this is a Zekrom, you see a ZSV 10.5, so Zekrom, so the backbolt ETB and the Reshiram ETB R in front, that's how you tell them apart. RSV 10.5, so this is the white flare ETB, so I got a case each of them. Yeah, so at first I thought this is the only thing that I'm gonna get at least in the next few weeks, but a surprise came in. I think it was just a few days ago. He actually called me up and asked me, hey, I got a good deal, do you want it? You know, I have a few cases of this, and he's only offering to 3 customers, 3 of the more regular one. Maybe I'm spending a little bit more with him, and he know I will take him up with the deal. Yeah, so I said, yeah, why not? I'm gonna share a little bit more with you on the prices and what I did with them and all that. Okay, at this point of time, I just wanted to share with you some, real life example, especially in the last few months, what I have gotten from the shop and what I did with them. So if you can see here, white flare ETB, black bolt ETB, look at the return is like 150% and 100%. So how is it possible? I'm going to show you later on. Even Pokemon Go, look at the return. I don't think I have told you I bought this, because I only bought this like a few weeks ago. I'm going to just show you as well. So let's just go with the white flare ETB first. So the first box I have already shared in my earlier video. This is the only one I got during the release day, so 18 July, and just a few days ago, 2 days ago as of the time of this recording, he offered me a case of a slightly higher price. This was not directly from the distributor, so somebody consigned the ETB cases to him. So basically this one other person got the cases from Microsoft, from the distributor. So I know you have many questions, why is it that this person do not sell it themselves and things like that. I do not know how to answer you, because it's honestly not that hard to sell. But this person decided to just, consign it to the shop, because probably he find it a hassle to do it. He find it easier to just offload it to the shop. The shop owner just ring a few of us up and ask us whether we want them. So if you can just look at the price, of course it is above MSRP. But this is actually 100 Singapore dollar. This is in USD, $78, but I got it for about 100 Singapore dollar per box for the whole case of it. So what I did, once I've gotten it, because I know this is not a very good price, at least it's not the price that I'm satisfied with, and also for the fact that this is a market, I think I've said it quite a few times, from Journey Together, Destined Rival, and also into this new set. Especially if you are, first mover in the market, you can actually command quite a high price. Who knows where the price trend will go? Maybe it will go up like Destined Rival, or maybe it will go down. But the fact is that at the moment, especially in Singapore, it quite easily sell them at a higher price compared to what the other people are getting in the US. In the US, I don't know whether they are really selling at 94 USD. Maybe. Let me know if you are from the US. But in Singapore, it's not easy to get it at all. So even when I offer it at a slightly higher price, I could actually offload some of them. And the reason why I do that is because I wanted to bring my cost down, average cost down, because if I'm gonna hold it long term, I want to reduce my cost price so that the downside risk is very much reduced. I got in total, just as of 2 days ago, I have 11 of them, 1 loose and 10 from the case. So I opened up the case and I sold 6 of them. I kept 5. So basically I kept 5 pairs of the white flare and black bolt, so 5 sets of the ETB, and I managed to reduce my cost price down to $37. So this is probably like a wholesale price in the US. In Singapore, I think this is probably even lower than the wholesale price in Singapore. If I'm being fair, I'm not too sure, but if you got prices from Microsoft, please let me know. Is this cheaper than what you got? This is in USD. If you convert this in Singapore dollar, it's probably about $50, something like that, slightly more than 50. And so similar story with black bolt. Black bolt, I only have a case. I do not have the loose piece, and I sold half of them at a higher price. At the moment, my average cost is $45. I'm happy with this. So the whole case of 5 sets, black bolt, white flare ETB, I'm gonna keep it for long term. So the next time I'm gonna open it up, probably it's gonna be 3 years later. I'll just put it out of sight, far away. And the next one I wanted to show you is Pokemon Go. So like I said, I only got it like 2 weeks ago, slightly more than 2 weeks ago. So this is like one of the last case that the shop owner have. This was from way back then where he ordered many cases and it doesn't sell. So he just sold it to me at a pretty good price, basically as low as he can. I'm pretty sure he still make a few bucks per box. I'm pretty sure nobody will, you know, sell something without making a profit. But to me, this is a very good price. And when I told him that I wanted a few, you know, 1 cases of it, actually I told him very early, maybe even back in May, I told him, please save a case for me. I'm gonna, you know, buy it from you when I am available to carry it home. You know, the case is actually quite heavy, but I always didn't manage to do it until there's one day when he called me, hey, do you still want a case? Because other people are asking about it, and he is, you know, selling off almost all his cases already. So yeah. Then I said, yeah, I'm coming to get them, you know, the next day or day after, whatever. Can see in the last, especially in the last 1 month, Pokemon Go has been going up pretty nicely, maybe in the last 2-3 months. So if you are looking back in January, since half a year ago, it was $50, even though this is, you know, like 3 years old already, 3 to 4 years old ETB. So and then right now is, you know, $80. And the reason why I would even buy Pokemon Go is because this is a specialty set. It doesn't have a booster box, so technically one of the best product is already the ETB. Of course, you may have, I don't think they even have booster bundle back then. So you have some collection boxes and tins and things like that. But for this, if you really want to open Pokemon Go, this is probably the best product. And the promo is nice, you know, it's Mewtwo. Very nice promo, ETB promo inside. So at the moment it's already like $80, and so my investment is almost doubled already in terms of the return. So this is quite a crazy buy. What else is there? And this one, blooming water in Singapore, we cannot get it easily at all. I know in Singapore you say what, but we are getting it in Costco and Sam's Club. I don't know where you get it from, but it's very much affordable if you can get it in person in the US, or you can catch a drop or something like that. But in Singapore, that's not the case. And I also got this from the shop. I think they only got a case or something like that, only 4 pieces. So it's just, you know, distributing among the really regular people. So if I do not have this relationship with the shop owner, I probably won't get this as well. So I only got a piece of this. I'm happy with it. The other one is this Destiny Rival. I think I've shared with you before. I got a case from the shop. I think the shop probably have a few cases, just like any other shops out there, even though they pre-ordered many, maybe 40 cases, 60 cases, whatever the number, but every shop only have a few cases. I opened up the case and sold 2 of them almost on the same day, or, you know, the day after, to, you know, chop down the cost. So I'm only left with 4 boxes. It's still there, and my average cost is $85. Again, this is like a wholesale price already, so I am not worried about, you know, what's gonna happen to this. Maybe it will go up, maybe it will go down after a huge reprint, but my cost is already at $85, so I really do not have to worry about it at all. So I think that's the beautiful thing about a market like this as well. If you have a good relationship with LGS, you can do things like this. If you have enough stock, you can, you know, sell a few pieces at a very high market price, or even give them a little bit of discount. Like for example, the white flare ATB, even though this looks high, but this is actually still slightly below the market price in Singapore. If you are looking up Singapore prices in other shops, you probably will not find prices like this. It's probably going to be like 120, 130 USD, or close to 160 Singapore dollar. That would probably be the price that you'll find in shops, online shops. So the last thing I wanted to say is that really befriend your LGS. I know it's very convenient, very easy to just, with a few clicks on your mouse, on your phone, just swipe a few times, you can buy something online. But honestly, I do not think you can get a very good price, especially at this market, in this climate, when all the shops need to survive. They need to sell at a high price, otherwise, you know, the turnaround is not going to be enough for the next set and things like that. So if you have a good relationship with your LGS, especially if you find a good one. I think it's very important thing as well. Not every LGS is a very good LGS. If your LGS is overcharging everybody, then maybe don't waste your time befriending them. I should have said this from the beginning, huh? Okay, maybe I'll put this at the beginning of the video so that you don't the whole video and befriend the wrong LGS. So how do you know your LGS is good? Talk to them and see what's the price that they're selling at, and ask them whether it is possible for them to, you know, allocate a little bit of something to you. Like for example, one of the problem that I faced earlier during Journey Together was that even though I pre-ordered I think 6 cases, something like that, or was it, I think that was for Destined Rival. In the end, I did not get any allocation at all. But when I asked this shop that I finally went with, he said, oh, we do not have a lot of allocations, so we decided to just, you know, just allocate 1 box to most of the regulars. So that's how I knew that this person is trustworthy, even though he is facing difficulty, but he tried to satisfy all his customers. And to me, that is a good thing, because at this market, like I said, I adjust my expectation. I do not expect to get cases and cases of product during release like what we used to do last year. So I know for sure that this person, and of course the price is alright as well. I mean, it is slightly higher than before, but it is still below MSRP, way below. I would say at least 20-30% below. For me, that's good enough. Once I know that this is a person that I want to build a long-term relationship with, and I didn't look back. And I think the last few months of me visiting them and just build relationships slowly, know them and they know me, and until to the point where he will give me a call when he have a good deal. I think that probably shows the hard work actually pays off over here. That's what I meant. Hard work, because for some people to, you know, drop into a LGS every week is probably a hard work, because they would prefer to just swipe their phone. So, but this is something that I would suggest you to do. If you in your local area, you find somebody good, you think it's worth your time, I think it is that this hard work will really pay off, especially if you are in for the long term. Last but not least, really build trust. In the last few months, I think the only thing I actually bought from somebody else was 151 booster bundle, because in Singapore we don't get them at all. The LGSs, they do not get them. So and it is pretty old product right now. To get them, I have to buy from people who actually import from the US, so unfortunately I could not get it from him. But other than that, almost pretty much everything else I got it from this same one LGS. So that's how I, you know, started to really build the relationship and talk to them. Yeah, so that's the final takeaway I wanted to share with you. Let me know how your experience is, you know, with your LGS in your area, whether in Singapore or not. Let me know how it went with you. Do you have similar experience like me, or did you get ripped off by your LGS? Drop me a comment. See you in the next one.